Yeah, it's a little better, ain't it?
Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of the Parry where we don't pull and duck no punches. And the parry is fundamental to boxing. I am your host, Bomani UFG. Here to give y'all the latest and review this David Benavidez versus David Morrell fight and fight card. Just waiting on my brother Shay Black to get himself together. But welcome. Welcome once again. I want to remind everybody to please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Let me bring my brother and co-host on.
Was good with
Shay Black, what's good with you, man?
same fight, different round, man. We here swinging, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, man. Again, want to welcome everybody back to the Parry. You know what it is. This is where you come and get the expert opinion of the experts. You know what I'm saying? So how's everything going with you, Black man?
Everything is everything, man. It was a beautiful week of boxing. Beautiful weekend of boxing. It's actually not over. Clarissa Shields fighting tonight. She's fighting Danielle Perkins. The giant, the towering Danielle Perkins. And this weekend, we had a great card with this fight with Morrell and Benavidez.
Yeah, hold up. But speaking of Clarissa Shields, man, you know,
Pat Poops was at the weigh-in. She had to note that in.
Say it again. The what?
Pat Poops was at the weigh-in.
You serious? I missed that. He was at the weigh-in?
Yes, he was at the weigh-in. Yes, sir. You missed it.
Well, she came out with the Fendi. She had the Fendi mink on or whatever that was over there. I'm broke, so I don't know what that was. That was chinchilla mink.
The F on it. Yeah,
it definitely was Fendi. I know that. I know it was Fendi. But she came out. Yo, Pat Poops, man. Yo, shout out to you, brother. That's all I can say, man. Handle your business. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn style. You know what I mean? Because she definitely looking at heavyweight. She looking every bit of heavyweight, man. She looking every bit of heavyweight. You know what I mean? Shout out Clarissa Shields, the GWOAT. I just saw a clip where Muhammad Ali's ex-wife was telling Clarissa Shields she wanted her to kick Layla Ali's ass.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably all type of issues.
There's politics behind it. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds who put that clip up. That's where I saw that on Doggy Diamonds TV.
There's probably all type of, that family. So I don't know. There's probably something deeper to me. That's probably something deeper than boxing.
I mean, for sure. Apparently, that Muhammad Ali left her for Layla's moms or something like that. Something to that effect.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. But shout out both them ladies. But definitely shout out the GWOAT who was looking right in that Fendi. My coconut water, excuse me. But yeah, man. Any other boxing news you want to get to before we go to that? Before we go to the main
event? Actually, everything revolves around this main event. Talking about Benavidez Morrell, which just happened this past Saturday. Very, very entertaining fight. I gave Morrell the second round, and at the fifth round, I could see the argument for the fight being even going into the fifth round, but I only had gave Morrell the second round at that point. But from the fifth on out, even though Morrell had his moments, he was very game in the fight. But Benavidez just landed the more effective shots. He was the harder puncher. He changed Morrell's whole style of fighting. We got to see Morrell fighting with angles and moving around a lot and staying on his toes, not really applying the type of pressure that we're used to seeing him apply. As you see here, here we are. What's this, around the second round right here, where I feel like Morrell had his best. You know, he actually, that's probably the round where he threw the most punches and out punched Morrell, Benavidez, if he in fact did that. Then you see later in the fight Benavidez showboating a little bit, but yeah, this fight was definitely a fight that if I was Canelo watching this fight, I would be very, very interested, entertaining the idea of making that fight. This is a fight that if I'm Canelo and I sat back and I watched this fight, I seen what would give Benavidez trouble. And Benavidez looked a little soft in this fight. His body was a little flabby in this fight. Not saying that, you know, he looked bad per se, because he didn't, but he looked a little soft in this fight. And I'm not sure if there was points in the fight where he really stepped forward. I believe in the seventh round, he had a nice hard barrage. Looked like he was trying to end the fight. After getting dropped, he came back again. There was one point in the fight, he hit him with a 5-punch body combination. You know, his pressure was just ridiculous. But he did seem to be a little bit confused by Morrell's movement. And if I'm Canelo, I'm looking and I'm saying, yo, I'm a lot slicker than this guy. I have, and Canelo is not known for having great feet work, but his feet are actually better, a lot better than Benavidez. Canelo could offer him a lot more lateral movement. He could, use a lot of lateral movement. Set up some traps, make them pay. After making them miss, make them pay. I can see him going in there with a strategy to really try to outbox Benavidez after what I seen on Saturday.
For one, it was a pretty good card. I want to start there. Like, the card was pretty good. Isaac Cruz put on a hell of a fight with his opponent. His opponent's name escaped me. I never even seen this guy before. Pardon me for my ignorance. But it was that might have been fight of the year so far. Then you had Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton. Didn't live up to the hype of the first fight, but nonetheless, Stephen Fulton definitely won that fight by unanimous decision. I thought he won. He's champion again now at what is that, featherweight. Um, and I thought his outfit was pretty dope. He came out with the boxing trunks that looked like jean shorts, cut off jean shorts, with the boxing shoes looking like Tim's. I'm from Brooklyn, man. That's how we dress too, man. Shout out to Philly. Um, so congrats to him. But in regards to the David Morrell Benavidez fight, I kind of figured David Benavidez would win this fight. I thought it was. This was probably the most evenly matched I've seen somebody against David Benavidez in a long time. But I felt like at the end of the day, what overcame was experience. Considering that David Morrell only had 11 pro fights up to this fight, I thought that when you think about David Benavidez, who's since a child, man, since a young boy, man, he was sparring with the likes of Triple G, even Dimitri Bivol. Like, he's sparring with world champions, world class fighters at a young age. So even before a pro, like even before he became a real pro and got his name on the map, he was already in the gym with some high profile fighters, some really good fighters. Um, so the experience factor I thought played a part. But the Mexican monster, man, he just proved that he's a real dog, man. Uh, I thought, of course, whenever uh, Morrell would back him up, I thought he fought pretty well. But I think his punch selection was a little. It wasn't that of someone who got is seasoned. Like, he still fights in that Cuban, uh, amateur style, even though he does have power and he's knocking cats out. But against somebody like David Benavidez, who's going to stand there and he's going to shell up and he'll take that slight step back, that half a step back to make you miss. you got to be a little bit more versatile with your punch selection. And I felt like he kept doing the same combinations over and over again. Then he would kind of crouch down and throw that lead, that lead left hand or that lead right, and just try to catch him like he was, catch him slipping. It just none of it really worked, and he didn't really go to the body effectively. I thought so. To me, that I'd sum that all up to just ring generalship, ring experience. David Benavidez is a dog for sure, and I thought that I think down the line, a rematch, they're bound to clash again because I think David Morrell, even though this is his 12th pro fight, he's really good. Like he's kind of he's a little crafty. He has room for improvement. And as he grows and improves under Ronnie Shields' tutelage, I think we'll see him improve. And at some point, I think there'll be a rematch, and I would definitely watch that fight again, man. But David Benavidez, something I want to bring up to you, Jay. Let's bring this up real quick. Let me pull this up.
And that was go ahead.
This is the ring pound for pound list, right?
Hmm.
What's missing from this list? When I look at this list, all things considered, especially after last night, I think David Benavidez need to be in this top 10, man. I mean, he beat Caleb Plant.
Well,
He
put the
went
list
from
back up again. Put the
all
list
right. Let's
back
look
up.
at it. Let's look at it.
Let's look at the list. I clearly
Yep.
would say that Haney, he could definitely be over Haney.
Yeah,
I would
I
definitely
agree.
put him over Haney, and I could even see him over Nakatani as well. You know what I'm saying? I could see
Right.
him around right behind Davis. Right behind Davis, which I think that Davis probably should be a little bit higher than 8 on this list right here. Whose list is this right here? Is this the ring right here? Because this list
Yeah, this
right
is the
here,
ring. Yeah, this is the ring. This is the ring.
the ring. I'm really actually surprised looking at this list how Usyk, and I'm guessing they're basing this off of the 2 fights that he had with Fury, but how Usyk is number 1. I don't feel like there's even enough competition in the heavyweight or cruiserweight division combined for any fighter to be even probably considered number 1 unless they showed a tremendous um amount of talent. You know what I'm saying? Now put that list back up real quick. Keep that list up.
All
I
right.
wasn't I
All right. I
wasn't
got
done
you. I got
picking this foolishness apart real quick. Um,
you.
so that right there, though, having Usyk is number 1 is ridiculous. Do I believe he belongs in the top 10? Absolutely. He should actually be somewhere around where Nakatani or maybe Haney is at. In a way, that right there, there's a lot of justification for Inouye at number 2. I can't really complain with Inouye at number 2. However, I don't think that Crawford did anything that suggested that he had lost a notch or that any of these guys have done anything to actually pull above him. None of these guys have had a fight that was at the magnitude of fighting a Spence. None of them had that type of nemesis. Clearly, they're trying to say that the Usyk and Fury was that level, but I personally don't see it. Even with the fights with Wilder, Fury barely got out of those fights, or with the victory. Um, and then coming down to 4, Better Beef and Beeble and 5, with Alvarez at 7. This is the. I definitely feel like Alvarez should somewhere be around 6. Better Beef should be somewhere. That's a tough one right there, but I definitely would have Alvarez above Better Beef, and I can see the argument for Beeville above Alvarez. And as far as Davis, like I said, Davis, I would see him somewhere between 7 and 5. Anywhere in between there, I would have Davis. But this list is I don't know if there's politics behind it. Jesse Rodriguez, he, he's legit. He's legit, and I see him actually possibly climbing up as far as 2 or 3 on this list. That's it, though. You could take this list down
Uh, I will say, hold on. Let me dissect this list real quick.
there. Okay.
I will say, as far as pound for pound lists go, this is probably one of the better Ring Magazine pound for pound lists I've seen in a while.
Really?
Um, Yeah, really. Like in a while. I'm not talking about yesteryear ring. I'm talking about, you know what I mean, past few years. Ring magazine, they pound for pound list been kind of a little shaky in my opinion. Um,
I usually
even ES.
respect that list.
No, that I can see the politics in a lot of their pound for pound lists. This one seems a lot more, in my opinion, a little bit unbiased. I can see Usyk at number one. Would I put him number one? No, but I don't think I can see that. It's hard to argue that, right? Number two, in a way, I can see that. Terrence Crawford. Number three, I can see that. Would I switch that around a little bit? Yeah, I still got Terrence Crawford as number one. In a way, at number two, I would put Usyk somewhere around number three. Beterbiev, number four. Dimitri Bivol, number five. That's fine. Bam Rodriguez at six. I like that. Now, here's where, okay, even Canelo, number seven. I'm okay with that. What I would do, I would give David Benavidez that eight spot and then slide everybody down. You know what I mean? Javante Davis at nine, Nakatani at 10. Devin Haney will be off the list. And everybody knows I'm a Devin Haney fan, but I'm sorry.
That's very
He will
interesting.
be he will be off that top 10 list. I will put David Benavidez somewhere around number eight. That's what I would do. I would put him somewhere around number eight, pound for pound, and he could be higher considering when you look at his resume, at least over the past few years, right? He went from David Lemieux knocking him out, Kalen Plant, unanimous decision, Demetrius Andre stopped him. Then he moved up to light heavyweight for Alexander Gvozdyk, a former champion, beat him by unanimous decision, and then go up and fight a hell of a contender and champion, David Morrell, and he won by unanimous decision. So I think his last string of fights, and then you look at other people on the Anthony Durrells, the Ronald Gavrils, like when you look at certain names on this list, considering how young he is, I mean the kid is only 28 years old. Like I would stick him in at that number eight spot right about now. Probably before this win, I would have had him at number eight. I think he's a top 10 pound for pound talent, and I will say what I respect, like what they were saying last night is it seems like he doesn't need the Canelo fight. He's off his own volition. You know what I mean? Off his own hard work, he's becoming a big name and drawing this sport. You saw he filled up the T-Mobile Arena last night. And not a lot of fighters can do that without having that big fight. So he's gaining a lot of momentum right now. But he's about to be probably one of the most popular fighters in the sport, and well deserved because he put on great fights, man. Like he puts on. I'm entertained by all of his fights. I'm a big fan of David Benavidez. I think David Morrell is a solid fighter, damn good fighter, and I think down the line he's going to be somebody to reckon with in this sport. He's just a little bit in the experience right now. It was David Benavidez's time, and I think at some point David Benavidez is going to crack that top five pound for pound because the guy is good. I mean, despite his flaws with his footwork and this that, the guy can fight, man. He's a straight dog, man. He's a throwback to a lot of them old school Mexican fighters that'll stand there and bang with you.
The one thing, not to
Mm,
cut you, but I just wanted to just interject real quick to add on if I lose these thoughts, is
yeah,
that we're talking about someone who has showed great resilience, not just in the ring, but throughout his career. You're talking about someone who he won his first title at 20 years old, and he dealt with the drug addiction, and he dealt with being stripped of his title based on that. He dealt with the coming in overweight, and he's come back and he's still here, and we see how even in the ring we've seen that the guy can out endure or can endure a lot. His resilience and endurance is a true testament of his skill and of his heart and who he is. And I think that he definitely will probably be cracking the top five. I don't a fight with him and Canelo, I think, is the fight. But a fight with him and the winner of Better Bevo is interesting. Although we already seen him, um, uh, here we see him with Plant busting Plant up. Had Plant pretty busted up. Plant was in that fight though. Plant was
he was.
definitely in that. Plant was definitely in that fight. But you know, the 175-pound division is shaping up to be one of the most entertaining and exciting divisions to watch right now. We have at the level. We're talking about high caliber, high level, entertaining, high stakes fights taking place at this division. We're talking about some serious round robin right here. And for Canelo, if Canelo decides he wants to test the waters again at 175, seeing how everything looks with him and Crawford, because he has his own hell to get through with Crawford. It may be something.
Well,
It may be something.
I think
If I'm
well,
Canelo, I'm definitely looking at a fight with Benavidez, though. I'm
yeah.
absolutely looking at a fight with
I
Benavidez.
mean, how could you not, man? They got common opponents. Caleb Plant being one, right? Then of course, he had David Benavidez put on a hell of a performance against Demetrius Andrade, where the man couldn't even finish the fight, man. He had his face looking like the Elephant Man. You know what I mean? At the end of the fight, and Demetrius Andrade, in my opinion, was, he was a real good fighter, man. He's very talented,
These
southpaw,
clips right here show
crafty.
something.
Yeah, like
They show,
like
and what I'm saying is, and I didn't mean to cut you again, but I just wanted to talk to that clip that we were looking at. You now, um, Benavidez is known to be a emotional fighter, emotionally fueled fighter. However, as you've seen right there, he has a lot of poise in the ring. He has a very mature, poised fighting style at 28 years old. And this goes back to, like I said, his resilience and the fact that, at 20 years old, he was winning his first title. But go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you like that. I just wanted to talk to that clip real quick.
I mean, Demetrius Andrade was a highly respected, touted fighter. You know what I mean? A multi-division champion, if I'm not mistaken. And he beat Earth, Wind, and Fire out of my man, man. You know what I mean? I thought it would be a more competitive fight, which it started out that way, but he just got this thing where he just applies more and more and more pressure as the fight goes on, and some guys fold, some guys make it out to the end, like David Morrell, like Caleb Plant. Um, Even then, he goes up to he moves up to light heavyweight. His first fight at light heavyweight. He fight Alexander Vazdik, which Vazdik is a former champion. I think that he lost his title to Benavidez, and I mean, and Vazdik came in there in shape, man. This dude was chiseled, man, and so he had a little bit of a tough time. Plus, he was injured. But you see, when a healthy, you see when a healthy Benavidez, what he looks like. And I thought last night we got to see a better him, how he really should look at light heavyweight, healthy, and what he's capable of doing to guys, man. That pressure, pressure busts pipes, as they say. You know what I'm saying? And that guy, listen, either you gonna fold or you gonna hold on to the end. But I don't know if you're gonna be victorious against the guy with that kind of pressure. His hand speed is, I think, this is deceptively quick. He throw real good combination. Them uppies he was hitting David Morrell with last night. Like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah. But
I
I
don't
will
I
say
don't I
this:
don't
though,
know.
we got to go ahead because his defense is was a little bit shaky though in that fight as well. Though, although he did offer a nice assortment of punches, them uppercut combinations was definitely vicious. He did take a lot of punishment in that fight. Or I ain't sure he took a lot of punishment, but his defense, there wasn't a lot of head movement. There wasn't a lot of, you know, he wasn't too hard for Morrell to find,
Well, but
which
he had
even led to
I
it was
thought
even led to his knockdown, which was the second time in his career being knocked down. The first was Donald Gabriel defend their first fight, which was more or less of like some off balance type. But nonetheless, it was a knockdown. This seemed like it was more footing than being off balance after a punch, but nonetheless, you know, it was the end of a punch, and the punch looked like it actually caught his guard more than it caught him. But I think that his defense was looking a little bit. And this is another reason why if I'm Canelo, I'm looking at this fight saying, "Damn, with angling and feet work and all that, this is a pressure fighter. He likes to come forward. Maybe I can use that to my advantage."
I think But one, I thought his defense was okay. I mean, if you look at the punch disparity as far as landed punches between him and Morrell, it was a pretty big difference.
No, it was a
I thought
slide.
I
It was a
thought
landslide.
I thought he did good in regards to just taking a half step back, making a miss with the wild hooks, and anything that was up close, he kind of caught on the gloves. You know, some punches was getting through. Sometimes he was getting caught flush in the middle of a combination. But I think he's one of those fighters that's going to take one to give two. You know what I'm saying? He's proved to have a pretty decent chin. So did David Morrell, man. He showed that he got a pretty good chin, man. Because some of them shots he was eating, and he never really looked hurt. But he was eating some big shots, but he never really looked hurt. And I just think that at this weight class now that he moved up to light heavyweight, we really going to see what type of power David Benavidez has. His last two opponents at light heavyweight, or his first two opponents at light heavyweight, he wasn't able to get a knockout nor a knockdown. But he's so good
And he hit Morrell
crafty.
with some shots. Morrell
Yeah,
has a beard. His beard is solid.
yeah, man. Shout out to Cubano, man. Shout out them Cubans out there, man, with the good chins,
Yes,
man, because he
absolutely.
was he was eating some good shots, man. So, um, in regards to just a Canelo fight, well, how does that look? Hmm. Before we even get to the Canelo fight, because that's probably never going to happen. He got to get past Terrence Crawford, which some people think it's a no-brainer that he's going to win. I feel like it's going to be, again, last week we both agreed that you said Terrence Crawford by a landslide. He was going to make it look easy. I was saying it's going to be a close fight. Terrence Crawford probably by split decision. But
Mm.
um, the WBC affirmed that the winner of David Benavidez versus David Morrell will be the mandatory challenger for Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol's undisputed titles after they fight on the 22nd. Now, this is how does David Benavidez fare against either one of these guys? Right? You got Dmitry Bivol, you got Artur Beterbiev, both top 5 pound for pound fighters, both world class fighters. How does a fight between David Benavidez and the winner of against either one of these guys? How does it play out? How does it look? What do you think?
Well, both of these fighters like to move forward. Both of these fighters aren't hard to find. So that right there plays right into the hands of Benavidez. You know, I expect it to be whoever he fights, it to be a action packed toe to toe fight because both of these guys give and take, as you can see in their fight with each other. I don't expect them to get in the ring with Benavidez and try something that they don't know. So that's something that I expect. But I will say this, and this was one of the things that I was completely impressed about with Benavidez is the fact that Morrell fought a whole different style fight in that fight. That's not the type of fight we're used to seeing Morrell fight. And that was all based on Benavidez pressure and Benavidez strength. And Morrell, that was so as far as Benavidez at 175 pounds, he definitely it can wear that and definitely can fight and hang with these guys. He made, you know, Morrell was pretty much reversed. Morrell was used to being that type of aggressor. He's used to being that type of bully and coming forward like that. And the monster completely bullied him, manhandled him, moved forward on him. You know, I ain't gonna say completely manhandled him, but he bullied him and dictated the pace of the fight, the tempo of the fight, moving forward, kept him moving back until about maybe the 7th round where he decided he wasn't gonna move back and stand his real estate. And that and the 8th and 9th round, we seen some good toe-to-toe telephone booth action. The 10th round or the 11th round was marked with that knockdown, which, like I said, the knockdown was it was more of a of uh, a slit. I mean, not a slit, but it was more, angling of the foot, being caught off guard. As you see right there, it looked more like he caught the arm and the shoulder. However, it was a knockdown. Play that one more time. It was a knockdown, and his glove did touch the canvas, so it was definitely legit. But
It
then
just didn't
shortly
do it.
after that, we
It just didn't
seen
do nothing. It wasn't a
nah,
damaging blow. It was he caught him off balance. But go ahead.
it clearly wasn't a blow that did anything. As you seen, he got right back at it, and we seen a frustrated Morrell at the end of the round throw a punch after the bell, which ended up costing him a point, which most likely nullified the whole knockdown. So, it definitely wasn't nothing that hurt him. It was probably less than a flash knockdown. It probably had less of an effect than a flash knockdown.
Oh, it definitely was. It wasn't a flash knockdown. That was a trip. That was I was off balance. You caught me at the. He didn't even connect with his face. But
Exactly.
that's neither here nor there because the knockdown was legit. You fell from
Knockdown. It
a
was a
punch.
knockdown. It was a
Yeah,
legitimate
yeah,
knockdown.
yeah, yeah. But in
As
regards
far as
to
the rule.
right, per the rules. In regards to David Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol, I think they both provide different challenges. I think Dmitry Bivol has a little bit more movement. He's a little bit more crafty, good jab. He can fight, off the back foot. Probably a little better than Artur Beterbiev can.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to Beterbiev, of course, he's a come forward pressure fighter himself. He looks to be a little bit smaller in regards to just stature, like height. Like he seems a lot smaller than David Benavidez. I think just the power that he does have is going to be, that's a challenge in itself. How would that look against David Benavidez, who's proven to have a pretty good chin? I don't know, but we've seen what he's done to other opponents. He pretty much destroys guys other than Arthur Beterbiev. Like he's crushing guys and folding them up like laundry. Um, I would say, and I'm gonna go on a record and say this now. Whoever wins that fight, whether it's Artur Beterbiev retains his undisputed championship, or if Dmitry Bivol comes back and regains that, which hopefully they won't line up a trilogy until like after he fights David Benavidez and won't keep David
Barring
Benavidez
controversy,
waiting
I
so
doubt
long.
it. Barring controversy, being the WBC has a mandate, as long as it's not a controversial decision, I doubt that I feel like the trilogy would have to get put on hold for the mandatory. Is what I'm
Right.
guessing.
And it'll be a much bigger fight by this point. Like David Benavidez versus the winner of this fight is a huge fight. I'm gonna go on the record and say this: David Benavidez is going to be the future undisputed champion at light heavyweight. I don't think either one of them guys can beat this guy. I think his pressure, his chin, his ability to throw quick combinations, and just his heart and his grit, man. This guy's different. I'm telling you, he's different. I think it's his time now, and which is good for him because again, the Canelo fight doesn't seem as such a necessity, something that really had to happen for his career. He goes out there and I'm gonna say this against Dmitry Bivol. I feel like because Bivol has some issues handling the pressure of Artur Beterbiev, and Beterbiev's pressure it looks different from uh, David Benavidez. He's not as big, but he stays in your face, and he throws a lot of shots, and a lot of them are not really like they don't look like crushing blows, but he throws very short punches, and he got the ability to kind of keep you in front of him, at certain points. Bevo did box well in that fight, however, I don't think he'd be able to do that against somebody as big and rangy as David Benavidez. I think he'll get that jab off. He'll be able to move at points. You know what I'm saying? But being that he had trouble with the pressure from Beterbiev, I don't see how he deals with the pressure from a much bigger man and David Benavidez. Even though they sparred before, that's what probably will be the difference that they've actually sparred before. So but I don't see Bivol beating him. Now I'm gonna come to Beterbiev now. That'll be like two bulls just clashing and running head on in the middle of the ring. I just think the size difference between David Benavidez and Artur Beterbiev would make the difference. I just think he's too big, he's going to walk Benavidez down, and Benavidez is either going to have to meet him in the ring and just go toe to toe, or he's going to have to fight off that back foot. And I don't see how because I don't see David Benavidez backing up from nobody. I don't see him. I don't see him backing up from nobody. So I believe, and I'm gonna go on record. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a dog walk. It's gonna be easy. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying is that David Benavidez is the future undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. And then Canelo, there's nowhere else for you to go. If you beat Terrence Crawford, or even if you lose, you may want to move up a weight class. And if you want to win a championship at light heavyweight, you're gonna have to go to David Benavidez, man.
If
So
he
I think
loses to Crawford, he should retire.
why?
He's done everything he can do. He's done what else is there for him?
No.
Probably won't beat none of these big guys.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't fought David Benavidez.
I don't disagree with that, but I mean,
nah, man.
And to be honest with you, here's the thing. I don't see why this fight isn't a fight that PBC isn't trying to make at all. If I'm in Canelo's corner, I'm looking at this fight and I'm saying, listen, we can beat this guy. You know, we just have to be able to box this guy, and like I said, be able to go out there, use a lot of lateral movement, set up some traps, make them miss, make them pay, and be able to do that for the process of 12 rounds. He's the slicker boxer. You know, he's been in there with the slicker boxers. He's been in there with the best that there is, and that even in the loss to Floyd, he was elevated. And I think that, you know, you're talking about someone who has, you know, who fights like if Canelo fights like his feet are in mud, Benavidez fights like his feet are in cement. So it is definitely would benefit Canelo as far as style goes and in the style of fighting.
You definitely got two slow-footed fighters in the ring. That's for sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm about to make the Canelo fans, the cinnamon babies, I'm about to make them real upset right now. Canelo don't stand a chance to beat this kid, man. He just don't. He don't. I will say Canelo got one of the best chins I've ever seen in the sport. He's going to eat a lot of punches. Now I will say, I'm going to say this though. He provides like you said, he's slicker than, you know, he got some slickness in his upper body movement. He going to be able to make David Benavidez miss some shots. Especially when he's backed up against that rope, because he's not. If he meets David Benavidez and goes toe to toe, somebody getting knocked out. And I don't think
I don't know if he has the power to knock out Benavidez. You mentioned that you mentioned Canelo's beard. Benavidez has a beard as well. You know, like I said, he's been dropped twice. Once against Donald Gabriel, and then the last night. But neither one of those times was he hurt. Or was it a punch that took him off his feet, like he got knocked upside his head and went on Queer Street for a second? Like both of them was balance issues. With that being said, you know, if they fight toe to toe, it completely benefits Benavidez. But like I said, I strongly wouldn't think that Canelo would fight that. Now Canelo, like the brother Sekou suggested. Our brother Sekou suggested, like
shout out to Baba Sekou.
If Canelo knows that he can't beat Benavidez, then if he loses to Crawford, it makes sense to go out with it doesn't make sense. It's just retire. Because if you don't think you could beat this guy, you can't beat this guy. But if that's not the case, and for whatever reason he's making this fight a hard issue, I think that what I seen, I think that Canelo does have a chance. I think he more has a chance than I did before watching last night's fight. I don't necessarily give him the win, but I do think that Canelo could box, and I think that he is the better boxer of the two. And I think that right there is important. You know, and with the type of chin he has, I'm looking at Benavidez last night. I'm saying, if I'm Canelo, I'm looking at Benavidez like Golovkin, and I'm looking like, yo, I can go out there and I can probably offset this guy enough you know what I'm saying, to possibly frustrate him and win the fight over the course of 12 rounds.
I don't see it, man. I just don't see it, man. I think Canelo picks his opponents wisely. I think not that he's fighting people that he knows he can beat, but he does at times. I mean, then again, as a fighter, you go into the ring really believing you're gonna beat the guy. So, but he picks, right? Yeah, of course. He picks his matchups. He picks his matchups really well, right? I'm not gonna say cherry pick because he got a resume. We're not gonna take. I'm not taking nothing away from Canelo. I thought Caleb Plant provided some challenges for him, right? And I thought that would be a difficult fight. He did, and I thought he stopped him. But it's certain fighters that he just will not fight, right? Now David Benavidez with his height and pause, he got cojones, man. He's coming in there to knock you out. He's coming in there. He's coming in there to fight. David Benavidez don't come in there to box. He's coming in there to fight.
No, he comes in there to fight. He comes in there to fight.
Yeah,
this is a fact.
He's coming in there to fight you. So Canelo's gonna have to fight, win or lose.
What gave him the most problems in that fight? What gave Benavidez the most problems in that fight? Because although he won the fight, Morrell was very game. What gave him the most problems in that fight? What gave him the most problems in that fight?
I felt what gave him the most problems was the fact that
it was the angles that Morrell was throwing from. When he started throwing from angles, when he started using angles, it gave him problems.
Bro, he only won like 2 rounds, max 3.
I didn't say he won the fight. I didn't say that it was that close. What I'm saying is when he did give him problems, it was when he was able to use angles, fight off of angles.
I don't think David Morrell really provided or really gave that kind of look where he was like whenever he gave angles, he wasn't really, he would throw like one shot. I don't really think he provided him any problems when it came to angles. I think the biggest problem that David, the biggest
hold on, bro.
Let me finish.
Those are the examples.
David Morrell, to me, the biggest challenge that he gave David Benavidez, the biggest issue that he gave was the fact that he had heart, that he was there. He was in the fight. He was in the fight every round, even though he wasn't winning a lot of rounds. He was in the fight and he was game. He had heart. He had, as our Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters say, he had cojones, man. He came to fight. He didn't back down. He didn't fold. That was the only issue that I saw, is that he was there. He was trying to win every round. He was trying to win. You know what I mean? This David Benavidez is just not that guy. It just wasn't his night. You know what I mean? If that was a different guy other than David Morrell, with that type of pressure that was being applied, he would have knocked him out, or they would have folded and quit.
That speaks
because the guy was putting,
That speaks nothing to the fact that when Morrell did offer him problems, it was all based on angling. The second round, the 9th round, and the 12th.
Well, you asked me what I thought gave the biggest problem. That's a subjective question.
And what do you think gave the biggest
your opinion is the angles that I didn't see. My opinion is that the guy was game from round 1. He was in there. He was in every round. He was in there. He was in the fight. He came to fight. That's the only issue that I saw. Is that David Morrell was not folding. He was not going away. He was trying to win the fight. He was trying to win every round.
Okay, so he came to fight. What did he do though? What did he actually do? Because him coming to fight isn't technical enough to say what he did.
But that wasn't really a technical question unless you make it technical.
It is a technical question. That's why I'm at, because that's why I spoke technical about it. I said it was specifically the angles that he provided when he
saw
did.
Angles. I didn't see him giving much angles.
I'm not asking you what you seen. Well, I mean what I seen. I'm saying this is what I said. I said when he provided angles, he gave him problems. When he did. You understand? Now, you said he didn't. Cool. But what I'm asking you is, what did he do? Because just telling me that, he came to fight. Okay, he did come to fight. I don't disagree with that. He had heart. He stood in there. He tried to stand his ground. for the most part. And when he couldn't, he made the adjustments that he felt like he would have probably helped him get success. But I'm asking you that the times that he did, unless you're saying that he gave Morrell absolutely no trouble, the times that he did give Morrell trouble, what do you attribute it to?
You mean Benavidez?
Benavidez. The time Benavidez,
Right.
the time Morrell gave the time Benavidez gave Morrell trouble, what do you attribute it to?
Honestly speaking, and this is my answer is still the same. I didn't see him give him much problems. Like he was getting moved back most of the fight.
You said much.
Right?
The problems that he did give
bro,
him.
let me finish, man. Damn, bro. Like I try to let you rock, you know what I'm saying, but you've been cutting me off a lot, bro. Let me talk, man. Like, geez, yo, I just thought that the biggest issue when it came to the only issue that I saw him give him throughout the fight, I didn't see David Benavidez struggling with anything he was doing. I thought he did have a decent jab going when he was ready. I thought he was able to hit Benavidez in between shots particularly when they was in close. Like he caught him one time, it looked like he hurt him with a quick little lead hook, or maybe it might have been a jab that I think he hit Benavidez with somewhere in the middle rounds that kind of had him look like he was hurt. But throughout the fight, I didn't see him give Benavidez really much problems other than the fact that he wasn't going away. Like I don't think he did anything that gave him
the problems that he did. The time that he did give him problems, I was asking what did he do during those times. But okay,
that's what I just said. I just told you. I didn't see what you saw. I didn't see him really give Benavidez much problems. When he did, like I said,
I didn't say he gave him much problems. I never said he gave him much problems.
Like I said,
you just said I didn't see what he saw. I didn't see him give him much problems. I didn't see him give him much problems.
Okay, but when I saw him do anything, I think he did use a good jab at times, and he caught him sometimes when it was in close. He caught him with some good shots in close, right? But but other than that, he didn't do anything to the man. Like a lot of punches landed on the gloves, and he ate a lot of shots, but he just was there. He just wasn't going away.
Did you see Benavidez's face when the fight was over?
Yeah, but you do
see
know
the blood
also
coming out of his mouth. You see his eye, the swollen in his eye, like that came from punches. That didn't come from.
You do know some fighters. You do know some fighters. You also get your face bruised, particularly under your eye here, when you catch punches. That don't necessarily mean the punches landed. If you look at I'm not saying he didn't get hit with anything, but it's a fight. You're going to get hit. You're not going to be in a fight and not get hit unless you Floyd Mayweather for the most part. And he got hit. You're not going to be in a fight and not get hit. I didn't say he didn't get hit, and he got hit, and he clearly got bruised. He clearly got hit, and his face got bruised. That don't mean that he provided any necessarily challenges for David Benavidez.
How many times Canelo looked like that at the end of a fight?
I've seen Canelo face bruised up. What are you talking about?
I didn't
seen Canelo with eye jammies.
How many times it looked like what's her name face at the end of that fight? Benavidez.
I seen when Dimitri Bivol lit him up. His face didn't look. He didn't look like he was ready to do a photo shoot.
I didn't say that Canelo never got lumped up. I just said how many times it looked like Benavidez's face in that fight.
Benavidez's face didn't really look like it had. Like he had some bruising. He had the cut on his eye. But again, when you if you've been in the ring and you've been sparring, especially if you're in there with somebody that can punch. When you catch punches with your gloves, it happened. Who it happened to? It just happened too. Against another fight I was watching not so long ago. I can't really remember at this point. But he had got cut, and even he said, well, that was when I caught his punch, and that's my glove hitting me. That happens. If you've been in the ring, when fighters catch punches, particularly with their gloves, you can bruise your own face. Tank Davis, when he fought Frank Martin, he was the one like when you catch punches, sometimes your glove hits your face.
Oh, he bruised his own face in this fight.
No, man, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm ultimately saying, you can get hit. You getting hit in the fight is inevitable, unless it's inevitable. Right. And when a punch lands, it can bust your lip, it can blacken your eye. It only take one shot for the most part, particularly if you're in there with a puncher. But that wasn't the question. The question was what challenges did he give David Benavidez when he did do anything in the ring? And I'm saying I don't think he gave him any challenges. He didn't give him any challenges from my perspective. I thought that the only challenge he gave him was the fact that he was there in his face and ready to fight, that he wasn't folding. He was trying to win. That's it. That's the only thing that I
But
saw.
when he
I didn't
fought in
see
the
him
street,
do
when he
anything that
went toe
was.
to toe with him, he didn't have much. When he went toe to toe with him, he was getting the shit kicked out of him.
Who said that? I didn't say who was getting this shit kicked out of him.
When I'm saying that, when Morrell went toe to toe with Benavidez, he was getting the shit kicked out of him.
Nah, I disagree with that. I think he had his moments for sure. He had his moments for sure. But going again toe to toe, don't, bro. If me and you standing chest to chest, forehead to forehead, and we throwing shots, bro, I'ma land some. You gonna land some. They gonna land. Yeah, you can't block every shot. You can't
Most of the
unless you
punches he
Dr.
landed
Octopus.
wasn't when they went toe to toe though. That's not when he landed most of his punches. Most of the punches he threw was when he was doing a little backup jerky, that little jerky shit he was doing, coming and throwing them combinations. Play the clip.
I didn't really. Yeah,
Play
I
the
didn't.
clip.
I didn't.
It's in the clip.
All right, I played a clip.
Play the first clip. That was the most success. That was the most type of success he was having.
You see all them shots he catching on the gloves though?
Yeah, nah. What's the name? Defense was tight. Don't get me wrong. He definitely didn't catch them all. As you see, he definitely wasn't breaking them down or busting them up. But that was that was the only times that he was able to even appear to create problems for Morrell. Other than that, I didn't see any problems for Morrell, except for in those moments. Those are the only problems that he created for Morrell. If I'm gonna say he created problems.
You mean for Benavidez? You mean for Benavidez?
For Benavidez, pardon me. Benavidez.
Well, yeah, I can see that. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, he had his moments, which is why it was such a good fight. I'm not saying he didn't do things well, or should I say, I'm not saying he didn't have his moments and that he wasn't in there to fight. That's all. That's issues. Like, I didn't see anything that David Benavidez had to make an adjustment for when I think about somebody giving you issues. Like, if me and you are in the ring and maybe, you know, you landing your left hook, you know what I mean? You landing your left hook on me throughout the fight, or you going to the body on me effectively. I have to make an adjustment. I didn't see him really have to make an adjustment. I didn't see that.
I'll say this, and for the most part, because he really didn't. It's like Sekou spoke on it. You know, a fighter with good footwork and head movement would definitely, and some hand speed will absolutely, which that's right there, a recipe to give anyone a problem. But a fighter like Benavidez, whose style is that seek and destroy, move forward, is definitely going to create all types of problems for a fighter like him. And Canelo doesn't really have great feet work, but they're better than his. He has good boxing ability. He has great upper body movement. That's something right there that a lot of people don't really give him his actual credit for, is his upper body movement. And that right there, I think I think he has the tools and ability to win, or at least give us a great fight. But it's up to Canelo. Does he want this fight? Does he feel like he can win this fight? That's really, to me, what it's up to. Because from what I seen in this fight, if Morrell was able to move around more and sustain that, this is a style that Morrell is not used to fighting. And if he was more comfortable in that style and maybe a little bit better boxer, a little bit better technical sound, then maybe it would have been a closer fight. I'm not saying he would have got the win, but maybe it would have been a closer fight. And he would have been able to steal a couple of those rounds, because there was rounds where it wasn't like he actually didn't do nothing in the round, but it wasn't enough. You know, the ninth round is a perfect example. The ninth round, they went toe to toe in the ninth round, and Morrell hit him with a vicious combination after being hit. After being backed up, he came forward and hit him with a vicious combination, and then only to be out punched by the end of the round. You know, only to have Benavidez outpower him, hit him with more power shots. So I believe that was the round he hit him with that vicious 5-punch body shot. But Benavidez hit Morrell.
Right.
That is.
Let me just take a pause for the calls real quick. Just want to remind everybody to go ahead and jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. And also follow us on Instagram at the Parry 101 and on X at the Parry 101 and on TikTok if it's still up. I don't even know. TikTok at the Parry 101. You know what I mean? But
Also,
that
the on Facebook, for those who tuning in who are not part of the Facebook group, join the fastest growing, the greatest place to talk boxing and just boxing news and talk that boxing back and forth with your peoples and whatnot. It's just the place to be. So definitely check that out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check that out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Also, shout
definitely
out to
come
my
join
cousin
in.
Kinte. I see cousin Kinte in the building.
Peace, 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 family. Definitely come join us on Facebook. It's a private Facebook group because we only allow real boxing fans in the group. So yeah, search for the Parry on Facebook. I will put the link in the description. Um, but lastly, but when it comes to the Canelo thing, again, Canelo, I think that fight is just as, if not more exciting than this fight against David Morrell. I just think it ends the same way. I don't think he dog walks Canelo. It's not what I'm saying. He's not gonna dog walk Canelo. And if I said that, I said that in jest. Like I don't think he dog walks Canelo. It's definitely gonna be a
Well, you're
good
kind
fight.
of saying he dog walked Morrell, though. You're basically
Nah, he
saying he
didn't.
dog
No,
walked
no.
Morrell.
It was you can lose every round, but still be in the fight in the sense of like you're not necessarily getting your ass whooped. You know what I mean? Like one, it wasn't
Nah,
one sided. David Benavidez clearly won the rounds, but I don't think it was one sided. Like
I said
where it
it
was
was one
just like
sided, but it was close, though.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
know
one
what you
sided
mean.
in the
I know
sense
what
of
you mean.
yeah.
I mean, it was, though, because how many rounds did you give Morrell? I gave him the second round.
When
Maybe
I
the
when I
12th.
when I watched it
Maybe the
again,
12th. But I gave him the second
because
round.
I watched the fight twice. When I watched it again, because I was the first couple rounds. It was to me. It was kind of the first 4 rounds was really hard to kind of score. I thought they wasn't really mixing it up yet to where like I thought that the first 4 rounds was even, had a 2-2. And then I think from round 5 on, it was kind of like he might have got like I want to say the 9th or 10th round, like one of those late rounds, he mid to late rounds, he might have got. So I think at max 3, might have given 3 rounds max.
I say 2 max. Yeah, max 3. I agree.
Yeah, he might have won three
I
rounds.
agree. No, I agree. Maximum 3. Maximum 3.
But here's the thing.
That's
Here's
a
the
wash.
beauty
That's
of
a
the
wash
fight
right
though.
there. That's a
No,
routing.
on the scorecard is a wash. But when you watching the fight though, he was in those. He was like some of those rounds could have went. I ain't gonna say at the end of the round I thought they could have went either way, but there was moments where it was like, okay, he can take this
There were
round.
moments where he won moments of the round, but he didn't do enough. And this is what I was
He didn't
saying
do enough.
earlier. Like he didn't do enough. Or I ain't even gonna say he didn't do enough. Really, Benavidez did more. He answered. Like Benavidez always answered. And
Yeah,
he usually initiated. So not only did he answer, but he usually initiated.
I think the difference in the fight was them uppies, man. Man, he was hitting that boy with some uppies, man. He was rocking
But
that boy
here's the
head.
thing: he caught some uppies. He caught some.
Yeah, he caught a couple. He
He
caught
caught
some for
some.
sure. But particularly like this joint
This
right
goes
here,
back to
like
what I'm saying with Canelo. Canelo has this hybrid hook uppercut that he throw that. It'll be a good fight. Him and Canelo, I think, right now will be a great fight, especially for Canelo. Be a great
he right,
fight for Canelo.
he went right between that man guard and pop, and then right here again.
Now he definitely
Boop.
showed that type of power. He definitely showed that in the way he was sitting on some punches and really digging with the uppercuts to the body and to the head. Nah, it was vicious. And he was going through he even went through his guard with a couple straight right hands. Boom, boom, just was punishing him. And
But
Morrell showed his beard, which also questioned how much power did Benavidez bring up with him.
I don't
It's just
think
a
it matters.
second
That
fight.
pressure,
He
that
didn't.
that that pressure gonna break some of these guys, man. Not Canelo, for sure. Not Canelo. I don't. He ain't knocking Canelo out. Nor is he gonna break Canelo. But he's gonna
I
make
mean,
Canelo
feet
earn it,
work.
man.
Feet work is the feet work
You keep,
and upper body movement, head movement. These are the things to offset pressure. Pressure can be used against you.
it's funny. That's true. That's a good point. That's an excellent point. But it's funny you keep bringing up footwork and Canelo. Canelo footwork, it may be better than David Benavidez, but
No. I was mentioning that just now. I was just generalizing just now on the things to offset that. I actually the footwork. I just like I noted before. Neither one of them have good footwork. It's just Canelo has better footwork, which it may make his footwork appear better in the ring.
right.
His
And
that little
Canelo
bit
upper body
more
movement for sure
that
is
little bit more mobility and his upper body movement might make it appear that he might look like Sugar Ray Leonard out there against this guy. Who knows?
Canelo is he can counter punch when he's ready. Um, but on that note, shout out David Benavidez, man. Now he's the mandatory for the winner of Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, which is taking place on February 22nd on the Zone pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. And we can't have this show, man, if we don't big up. Shout out to Turkey, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my man
The new
Turkey, man.
emperor of
Emperor,
boxing.
the emperor.
The new emperor. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Shout
You
out
see
the emperor.
Duran. Look at the face. Look at the cheese. Look at the look on Shakur. He
Look
smelled
at
the money.
Shakur.
He
They
smelled
threw
the
Devin
money.
Haney way in the
Look
back there.
at
Like,
him.
nah,
Look at
stay back
Haney.
there, yo.
Look at Haney in the
Look,
cut. Look at Haney in the cut with the glasses on.
you
Come
got Ray
on,
Ford
man.
up there, man. You know what I mean?
You got
Look at Eddie
Frank
Hearn.
Warren. You got Usyk.
You got
This is
Dubois. You got
ridiculous.
Zheli
Yo.
Zhang over there.
This is like a poster. This is like when they be, remember, when they do the drawings and they just draw a whole bunch of people together in a picture with each other. That's what this
Yeah.
looks like. This looks like it's just a drawing. Like it's
That
not
like
even like all of these.
over
This
there.
is
Who that? Teddy
American.
Atlas?
You know what I'm saying? Where?
With that Teddy Atlas in the back, right next to Joe.
Yeah, that's
right next
Teddy.
to Joseph
Yeah,
Parker.
that's Teddy crooked ass face. Yeah, that's crooked face Teddy. Well, man, yeah, I know that crooked face anywhere, yo. That's Teddy over there. I mean, yeah, everybody's over here, man.
Shout out to Emperor, man. Shout out to Emperor, man. Hopefully one day we get to interview him on the Parry, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the savior of boxing nowadays, man. But yeah, it's almost time for us to get up out of here, man. What else you got left for me, brother?
Well, we'll look forward to tonight. We have Clarissa Shields. Real quick. So, just to backtrack on the card, we had Isaac Cruz, and he was faced up against Angel Fierro.
Fierro.
So that was that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was Fierro.
That's the fight of the year.
I didn't want to cut you off, but I didn't want to let the program go without getting that right. But without mentioning that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, tonight we got the Clarissa Shields. Boxing is really looking good. We know that, the lightweight, junior welterweight, that's like the premier division right now in boxing, that area between lightweight and welterweight. But right now, 175 pounds is where the beef is at. That's where the beef is at right now. And I look forward to this ring robin that's taking place right now. And I would love to see Canelo step in that. And if Canelo doesn't step in that, I would like to see the winner of Canelo, Crawford. Why not? Why not see Crawford? Well, that might be a little bit much. 175 pounds might be a little bit much.
Crawford retiring.
But maybe a catchphrase. Maybe a little catchphrase.
I wouldn't even be mad at him. Canelo be retiring. Crawford will be retiring after the Canelo fight.
That'd be
mad at him, man.
That'd
be
be
38 years old, man.
I would retire too. Yeah. I would retire too, man.
I know you got enough money. I could smell up with money, man. He got the money. He could just chill. Go back to.
I got the money.
Go back to Omaha,
Yeah, he
man.
got the
You know
money.
what I'm saying? Like he ain't gotta do none of
He
that,
never
man.
left.
You know what I'm saying?
He never
He ain't
left.
gotta do nothing else. Beat Canelo, call it a career. You gonna be up there mentioned with the all-time greats. He beat Canelo, man. You know what I mean? Put that name on your resume and
Absolutely.
keep going. But
Absolutely.
yeah, man. Just
Absolutely.
once again, before we get up out of here, let me remind everybody to please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. Yeah, man. This is the Parry. You want to say anything to the people before we up out of here?
I mean, basically, continue to support us. You know, we're gonna continue to bring this boxing news to y'all, and you know, check us out on Facebook. Like I said, and join the community, the elite fraternity. Exclusive, just only for hardcore diehards, die harder, hardest, the die hardest.
Word.
So,
Word up.
other than
And
that,
once again,
I'm your brother, the pragmatic Che Black.
and I'm the host, Bomani UFG, and this is the Parry. Till next week, we out of here. Peace.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.